Well, a good Monday afternoon to you. It is 6 p.m. in the East Coast in the United States. It's 3 p.m. in the West Coast. Normally I do these a little earlier, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, but today a lot of exciting meetings, got a lot of exciting programs coming out, and a lot of good stuff going on, I'm happy to report. So, getting it started off right now. Hope you had a good weekend. And today, what we're going to talk about is hypnosis, specifically how to do a hypnotherapy session, the 5 parts of it. I'm going to recap that because there was a lot of information the last couple of weeks. I've been talking about how to do hypnosis, so a lot of information. I'm going to recap that for you, and then I'm going to take any questions, and I'm going to provide you with an answer. So I'll start with recapping how to do the 5 parts, the induction, deepening, script, amnesia, and transtermination, and then I'll open the floor for questions. But before we do all that, let's go ahead and check in and see who we have joining us, getting on today a little bit later than usual, so we may not have the usual crowd, but hopefully we have some of the regulars. Hello, Carol, how are you? Nice to see you. Nice to see you this Monday afternoon. Brenda, hello to you. I see people coming in now. Milas, hello to you. And hello to everyone else joining. If you're joining for the first time, go ahead and click the button up here. If you're watching on Facebook, click the button up here and it will allow you to get notifications of when I come on. Event, hello to you. Delphine, hello. And if you've watched me before, and you're watching on Facebook, go ahead and like this one. If you do like it, go ahead and like it, and then go ahead and share it, because we want to get the word out there that there's a resource that's of no charge whatsoever. I'm here free 3 days a week talking about hypnosis and answering your questions. Let's see who else we have before we get started. Mary Louise, hello to you. And you are welcome. Lucine, hello to you. It's midnight there. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Hopefully my hypnotic voice will allow you to get to sleep, even though I'm not using my monotone hypnotic voice right now. Hopefully you'll be able to get to sleep after this. Sonia, hello to you. Nice to have you here. Good to see everyone. I'll be on for about a half an hour, or maybe shorter than that if there aren't many questions, because I did get an opportunity while I was talking about hypnotherapy the last couple of weeks to answer a lot of questions. And if you missed any of that, you can look back on Facebook and see that they're labeled how to hypnotize someone, part 1 of 5, part 2 of 5, all the way through part 5 of 5, where I went through everything and I took topic-specific questions during those. So if there are any questions about the induction or the script, there are very topic-specific recordings with the topic-specific answers you can go to. But today we're going to do a catch-all to catch any questions that I wasn't able to answer, because sometimes when I'm doing the first part of the broadcast and I'm just educating, I'm not able to look at all the questions. So I missed a few questions. I caught quite a few, but I missed a few. So if anyone did not get a chance to ask your question, this will be your opportunity. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Emigilla, hello to you. Eva Liz, hello to you. Shervin, hello. It's 2 a.m. Wow, well, thank you for tuning in. Lucine, you are welcome. Edie, hello. Lillian, hello to you. And you're saying you're not able to sleep lately. Well, I do have recordings for that. You'll be happy to know. And Keith, hello to you. And Kathy says, hello, Dr. Steve, are you a member of NGH? NGH is the National Guild of Hypnotists. I believe my membership is current. If not, I will certainly get it up to date, because the NGH is, as far as I know, the oldest hypnosis organization in the world, I believe. I think it's been around for something like 50 years. So it's been around longer than I've been around, I believe. And so it's a great organization doing a lot of good things. They do a lot of research for hypnotherapists to make sure that they're in line legally with what they're supposed to be doing, and they give a lot of advice. So wonderful organization. They have a meeting once a year. I believe it's in New Hampshire. I haven't been, but I'm pretty sure I'm a member. I should be. Hopefully my membership is up to date. Stephanie, hello. And Megilla. And hello to you. And Juliet, hello to you too. So let's go ahead and get started. We will go ahead and get started, and save your questions till the end, and I will look forward to answering them because I want to make sure that you understand hypnotherapy. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to just recap about the 5 parts of the hypnotherapy session. So again, they are the induction, the deepening, the script, amnesia, and trance termination. So I want to go ahead and just recap briefly about each of those, just to refresh your minds about that, and that will also serve as a gateway into the advanced conversation that we may have in the future. I may teach something here about advanced hypnotherapy. It'll also set the stage today for your questions so you'll know what we're talking about. So let's go ahead and get started. So we have the first part of the hypnotherapy session as the induction, the first of 5 parts. The induction. And the induction is where we're taking someone from not being in hypnosis at all to being in hypnosis. And so when we do that, what we want to do is use relaxing words. Now, we're not necessarily saying go deeper or anything like that, but what we are saying is we're describing a scenario. We're bringing them into this fantasy world of a scenario that will relax them. So we are talking about being on the beach or walking in the woods. If we can find out, so if we have the luxury of working with a client one-on-one, and we can find out what they're working on, and hello, Miss Rowley, I see you just joined. She's a regular. We can find out what they're interested in, the beach. Some people like the city. Some people find it relaxing to walk in the city. I've been doing that lately, and I really enjoy it just because it's kind of new and fresh for me. Some people enjoy walking in the woods. Some people like that. So we find out what they want to hear in terms of the induction, and then we do that. We focus on that. So walking in the woods, walking on the beach, for people sometimes walking in the city. As a default, as hypnotherapists, we usually choose the beach. So if we're making a recording, our best bet is to use the beach because most people like the beach. Most people, when they think about vacation, they think, well, where can I go where there's a beach? And so that's what they want to hear about. So with most people, we use the beach, and we're describing the beach, and we're having them walk along the beach, and they can hear the waves. We want to involve all the senses. They can hear the waves, they can feel the breeze, they can feel the sand, they can feel how their body feels as they move along the beach, and it's just a really wonderful, relaxing situation. So in the induction, the first of 5 parts of the hypnotherapy session, we are inducing hypnosis, so we are describing something that is relaxing for them. Second part is a deepening, where we're intensifying that. We're taking what they experienced in the induction, and we're just making that more intense. So for example, if in the induction they were walking along the beach, now we're having them watch the sunset, and we're having them go deeper and deeper and deeper as the sun sets. And remember, we're correlating 3 things there. We're correlating downward counting. We're counting from 10 to 1 usually. I used to count from 100 to 1 and have them go down a long escalator when I first started it. That was when I was in high school and I was hypnotizing my roommates in Riverside Military Academy. Don't do that anymore. No need to count 100 numbers. I just count from 10 to 1 and have them relax as they go. And then I'm also correlating numbers, counting down, the sun setting, going down, and them relaxing more deeply. So correlating those 3 things. That's what happens in the deepening. And somebody had asked about how long should the deepening be. There's no set length, but it would be about approximately 25% of the time, about 1/4 of the time of the induction. So if the induction's this long, the deepening's about this long in time. So we want to make sure that we're not spending a lot of time in the deepening unnecessarily. I used to do that when I first started. And if there are any questions, by the way, please save them till the end, till I'm done re-educating you about hypnosis, and then post your question. And even if you already did, you can copy it and post it again for me, because it's difficult for me to see questions as I'm explaining things. It's difficult for me to concentrate on both at the same time, what I'm talking about and the question. So please repost after I'm done with this first part if you have a question. So that's the second part. We have the induction and the deepening, then the script. The script is where all the action happens. The script is when you are programming them. You're programming them for change. There's no point in doing a hypnotherapy session where you're attempting to get them to change if you don't have the script. Sure, it's relaxing, but we're talking about long-term benefit. We want to program them for something long-term. So that's where we're doing the programming. Now remember, as I always say, hopefully you're getting used to this by now, and hopefully it's really sinking in to your memory. The induction is like making an incision if you go for heart surgery. The deepening is like opening the chest cavity. The script, notice we haven't done anything yet that benefits them. The script is where we do the heart transplant or do a bypass or remove some gunk from the valves in the heart. So that's where all the action happens in the script. We're programming them. And scripts, there's really no set rule for, well, there's no set rule for any of this. These are just the quote-unquote rules that I use to make life simpler and to make it easy to teach and learn and understand. But there's really no set length for the script, because some people have elaborate things they want to work on. And by the way, we always keep the script on a topic. We don't work on weight loss, stopping smoking, getting motivated, getting through school, better memory and all that. We don't throw all that into one script. It's too scattered. It's just too much for the subconscious mind. And if you buy a number of hypnosis recordings, I recommend listening to different ones on different nights, or work on one set for 3 weeks and then the next set for 3 weeks. You can alternate them by day. If you have three things that fit into the same category, for example, confidence, motivation, and weight loss, very similar. They work well together. Listen to them for 3 weeks, but recording 1, 2, 3, recording 1, 2, 3, recording 1, 2, 3, keep switching for 21 nights. So when we do the script, we are working on everything that has to do with one topic, and we have the script part of the hypnotherapy session, and we're very focused on it. So some people have an elaborate way they relate to the world, lots of things going on in their mind, lots of ways they relate to the world, and so we'd have to put maybe a lot of information in the script. Some people, maybe it's just to the point, they just want this. They just want to deliver a speech, and they want to have a lot of power when they deliver it. That's pretty simple, very focused, very straightforward. So maybe the script would be a lot smaller. So the script length depends on what we're working on and who we're working with. By default, let's say I'm creating a hypnosis recording, like my platinum recordings, my script is fairly lengthy, even though it's just one focused bit of content, one topic. I want to get as much in there as I can. So half of the entire hypnotherapy recording is the script. So I have an hour-long platinum hypnosis recording. 50% of that is just the script, because I think that adds value, and I think that's a good use of time. But they vary in terms of length, because it depends on who you're working with and what they want to work on and how they process the world. But by default, we would make the script fairly long, because if you're creating a generic recording for someone, like I do on my hypnosis recordings, you don't know the person. You're just attempting to get everything that might affect them in there and attacking the challenge from different angles, attacking that same challenge, but from different angles with a little bit of neurolinguistic programming and so forth. And somebody just asked a question I happened to see, did you write a book? And yes, I've written 25 books on hypnosis, so you can check that out. The book you may want to refer to for this information is Basic Hypnotherapy for Professionals. And there's also the book that I wrote, I believe it's called Hypnosis for Laymen. Hypnosis for Laymen. Sometimes we change the titles because we figure out titles that are more appropriate. So Hypnosis for Laymen might be or I may have called it hypnotherapy for laymen. That would be the most direct book for what I'm talking about here. So look for that, the book for laymen that I wrote. And sometimes the titles are changed. Sometimes the publishers change titles, so I don't always control that. But I do control the content, and I know the content in the layman book is streamlined and direct like I'm talking here. So that's the script. And then we have the amnesia part, where we're scrambling the conscious recollection of the subconscious programming that we've done, because we don't want them analyzing it when they come out of hypnosis. You know how analytical people are. And Lucine says, not so fast, please. And as you know, I get excited when I talk about this topic because it's my life and it's my passion. So I'm going to slow down a little bit, and thank you for the reminder, Lucine. And so when we talk about amnesia, we're talking about getting them to have less of a memory of the programming that we've done, less of a memory of the subconscious programming that we've done for them, because we don't want them analyzing it. Everyone becomes a critic. You bring them out of hypnosis and they want to analyze what happened and what's going on. So, Lucine, thank you. Apparently I'm speaking slowly enough for the non-native speakers of English, so excellent. So that's amnesia. We want to sort of scramble the recollection of it. And then we have trans-termination, which comes in two forms. One is the office form, when I'm dealing with someone in my office, like I used to in my Beverly Hills office, for example. It was a very busy office, lots of writers and producers and actors coming in the office, and I'd have them scheduled one after the other. So in an office setting in hypnotherapy, you've got to bring them out of hypnosis and get them out of the office, because the next patient's got to come in. So count to 3, and during that time, we are bringing them out of hypnosis. We're counting 1, 2, 3 and bringing them out of hypnosis. And so when we do that, when we bring them out of hypnosis, we are then going to have them leave the office. The other form is when they're listening to a recording at home. And when they're listening to a recording at home, what we want to have happen is for them to go to sleep. And when they go to sleep, they can wake up in the morning. There's no need to bring them out of hypnosis if they're listening at home. It's not necessary for that. Okay, so I'm going to open up for questions. Interestingly enough, on the program that I'm using, which is the Facebook program that allows me to do these live broadcasts, it has now rotated the display of questions 90 degrees for some reason. So I'm seeing the questions sideways. So this is going to make life very interesting for us as we now move into the questions. I will encourage Facebook to resolve that. I'll see if I have any navigational control over that so I can straighten it out. I don't seem to have any control over that whatsoever. Let me attempt something else here and see if this helps. And it did. Okay. So if you're ever doing a live broadcast and it literally goes sideways on you, simply close the Facebook app. Not close it, but press, if you're on an iPhone, press the lower button and it'll reduce the app to just an icon, and then hit the icon again for Facebook. It opens it up the correct way. So learn something new every day. The other day we learned that in this Facebook Live thing, if you write anything, it writes backwards, and so you're not able to write anything. So hopefully these things will be resolved, but for now it's learning and it's fun, and I'm just happy that they provide this opportunity for us to interact. So let's go ahead and open it up to questions. Let's see what we have here. Lucine, hello. Eliska, hello. Anthony, hello. And Melanie says it's nice to see you. All right, good to see you too. All right, and Jeff, thank you for that resource. Eliska says, thank you, Dr. Steve, for live video. You're very welcome. Shervin says, I believe I have 70% of your programs, and I've registered for 11 certification courses. Wow. already completed. Excellent, Sherman. So I appreciate that, not just for your loyalty, I appreciate that too, but I also appreciate the fact that you're a person who wants to help people. And I can tell that because you've registered for certification courses. And when you get certified at hypnosiscertified.com, you're learning something so you can help other people like I do. So that's a wonderful way to expand your knowledge base and to help people. Because if I talk to you and I help you through a hypnosis recording, that's wonderful. But if I talk to you and you learn how to do something, you can help countless people, and they might even be inspired to help other people as well. So thank you. Thank you very much for sharing that, Sherivan. Thank you. And Terry says, at least the questions aren't backward. All right, well, we'll see about that. Hopefully not. Sandra says, hi, Dr. Steve. How can you make the abundance of wealth work for you if you're not able to work? That's a good question. Well, really, you need to have a stream of income in order to become abundant. You need to have a way to make some kind of income or some kind of return on an investment that exists. So you've got me there. Say is that you should look into getting a stream of income. So I'm not a job advisor or a career advisor by any means, but you do need to do that. Now, when listening to a hypnosis recording that does program you for abundance, hopefully it will inspire you to look into that, because now we have lots of ways to make money online, for example. So you can do that. So when you say you're not able to work, if you're able to get online, which you are, Sandra, then you should be able to also own and operate an online business. So I'd encourage you to look into that. You can just Google online businesses. There are some that you can get into very inexpensively. Francisca says, beautiful. All right. Sonia says, can hypnosis work in one person that can't relax? Well, first of all, I don't like the word can't. I don't believe in that word. I think that everyone can relax because people go to sleep every night, so they can relax. So the answer is yes, because there is no one who can't relax. Everyone can relax. That's why my hypnosis recordings are designed to listen to at night. That's one of the reasons, because at night you're already entering into that state of alpha. So anyone who's having a challenge relaxing, Sonia, they can just listen to a recording at night when they're naturally relaxing and drifting off to sleep. That would be my recommendation. Ida says, I recently posted about nightmares. Will that help for night terrors as well? Yes, I have a recording for that. So you can Google Steve G. Jones night terrors and you will find that. Absolutely. Connie says, when someone is put to sleep, do they need a family member with them? Okay, well, the wording of that is interesting, but I believe that what you're talking about is when somebody goes into hypnosis, do they need a family member with them? No, they do not. If you're asking about something else, then please clarify. But when you go into hypnosis, no. Unless it's the case of a minor, when you also don't need a family member present, but you do need a signed consent from the adult guardian or parent. And oftentimes they want to be in the room also, which is absolutely fine. And I actually encourage it because I believe it helps the child relax more. Delphine says, I am a certified hypnotherapist from a Canadian school. Excellent. And I follow your work. We didn't learn amnesia. What is an example of using amnesia in a session? Great question, Delphine. So amnesia is a very short and to the point procedure. You would simply say something like this. This is the double bind amnesia. You can choose to forget to remember everything that happened, or that I said to you rather, during this hypnotherapy session. So you can choose to forget to remember everything I said to you during this hypnotherapy session, or remember to forget everything I said to you during this hypnotherapy session. The choice is yours. Now, what am I doing there? I'm offering you two choices, but we called it double bind because you're bound either way. You're being instructed to forget either way. So if you remember to forget, what do? You forget. I remembered to forget, so I'm going to forget. If you forget to remember, what are you going to do? You're going to forget. So either way, you're being instructed to forget. So it's a fancy way of saying you can either forget or forget. And we always say the choice is yours, but either way, continue relaxing. So that's one way of doing that. So thank you for that question, Delphine. I'm sorry they didn't teach that. It's a little added bonus. You know, really, when you study hypnotherapy, I think it's better to study from a number of sources. That way you get the combined experience of a lot of different people, because different people teach it different ways. My way of teaching it is neither the right way nor the wrong way. It's my way. And I've been teaching hypnotherapy for over 30 years, so I found that it works for me, works for my students, gets the job done. The job being teaches people how to do it the right way, and it teaches people how to do it in a way that makes sense to them, that they can learn it easily. So it benefits the student and ultimately, of course, their clients. But I'm sure the course you took is fine as well. Marie-Louise says, how many hypnosis sessions are needed to change or break set habits? There's no set answer to that, but the protocol that I use, first of all, if you purchase one of my hypnosis sessions, I recommend that you listen to it for 21 nights in a row, because some people need more, some people need less, but the average seems to be 21 nights. And if I'm working with someone one-on-one in an office, I have different protocols for different things. For example, weight loss is 5 sessions. I want to work the first session on confidence. No matter what I'm working on, first session is on confidence. Second session, we're working on food choices. You've got to stop eating that nonsense and you've got to start eating good stuff. Third is exercise motivation. I know that only 10% of weight loss is affected by exercise. 90% of it, approximately, has to do with dietary choices. So some people keep eating a bunch of garbage and they think going to the gym is going to make a difference. 90% of your weight loss comes from the dietary choices that you make. So we really hit hard on that in session 2. And in session 3, exercise. In the following session, we're working on binge eating. I know they're going to binge eat at some point. So session 4, we work on that, avoiding binge eating. Binge eating is nothing more than the subconscious mind saying, hey, I don't feel comfortable losing weight. I have a subconscious reason for being overweight. Maybe I get attention. Maybe it keeps the opposite sex from being interested in me so I don't have any relationship challenges. Maybe something happened early on in life to the person and they just don't want that kind of attraction, attention. And so the binge eating session helps to avoid that when they might sabotage and go back where they're comfortable. Just like some people start making money and then they go to a gambling place and they gamble it because they don't feel comfortable having a lot of money. They subconsciously don't feel worthy of having it, so they gamble it away. So we want to avoid that thermostat from kicking in, so we're doing that in the 4th session. Binge eating is similar to gambling. You know, people who go and gamble and lose a lot of money, that's like binge eating. They're working on building money, they don't feel comfortable having money, so they blow it all gambling or doing some other foolish things. Binge eating is the same way, so that's why we want that in the 4th session. 5th session, I'm just working on cleanup. What did I miss? Are they still having challenges? What did I miss? So we're doing cleanup. I'm going back and addressing anything that they want to work on. Motivation, someone comes to me for motivation, I work on that for 3 sessions. First session, we're working on confidence, always confidence. No matter what they're coming for, first session is confidence. Second session, we're working on getting them focused and getting them motivated. We're actually working on motivation. And the third session, we're going to make it more specific for them. We want them to have a goal. We want to focus on that goal so they're moving forward. They're placing an anchor in the future. They're moving toward that. So it varies for me depending on what they want to work on. I know some people who do everything in one session. I know some people who do a lot of sessions for things, some hypnotherapists, so it really varies. But my way is a specific protocol, but there's no set answer for that. So thank you, Marie-Louise. We've got a couple more minutes, so I'll take a couple more questions. And all right. If anyone has a question for me, by the way, go ahead and ask it here. Do not send a private message. Please go ahead and do it here. You can probably imagine how many private messages I get. I don't answer private messages. Don't even look at them usually. So please ask your question here if you have a specific question. If you have a question of a professional on a professional level that you don't want to answer, that you don't want to have answered here, you can email support@betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. Support@betterlivingwithhypnosis.com. All right, and let's see. I believe that was the That was a question. So let's see what else we have. How does the hypnotist figure out the correct technique or wording for each client? That's a long answer. That would require you to go over to hypnosiscertified.com and actually learn hypnotherapy. I really don't have time to go into that great of detail in these short segments, and it would be a disservice if I attempted to do that. So you would have to either take my course or someone else's course, Marie-Louise, to find the answer for that. Great question, though, but that gets way beyond the general scope that we're keeping here. Let's take one more question. Let's see. All right. And hello to you, Elizabeth. Hello to you, Ida. Hello, Miss Rowley. And hello, Sonia. Gregory, hello to you. Aliska, hello. Just looking for one more question. Keith has a question, looks like. Do you ever associate anchor bad food or cigarettes to something that is offensive to the client, or do you always focus on the end result, non-smoker weight loss? Yes, Keith. One of the powerful techniques that I use in my stop smoking recording, and when working with clients who want to stop if I'm understanding your question correctly, is I'll find out beforehand what they don't like. A lot of people don't like liver. I mean, let's face it, it's an organ of filtration. It's like eating a filter. I'm not saying don't eat liver, but I'm just saying a lot of people think of it that way, and myself included. I'm not a big fan of liver. So I want it to be something that when they think about, they're repulsed. So they may love liver, so we'll find something else. There's something that everyone, there's something for everyone that they don't like eating. They find it, it repels them. They find it slimy, or they find it smelly, or they just find, maybe they had it one time and they just got it out of their mouth as quickly as possible. I want to find that thing. So when I'm working with someone one-on-one, Keith, I'm going to find that thing, and I'm going to say that thing, whatever it is, liver or whatever, is equal to cigarettes, if that's what they want to stop smoking. When you see a cigarette, you think of liver. I connect the two. Just like Pavlov taught us over 100 years ago, you can create a connection between the two, just like Pavlov did with the bell and getting hungry. So we can connect the two. So that's what I do. So absolutely. With weight loss, we can do that also. I don't do that in my recordings for weight loss. I do it in my recordings for cigarettes, but for weight loss, we could do it if we have a client and there's something they're really repulsed by. We can see them see chocolate cake that way. See chocolate cake as if it's that disgusting thing they don't like. Or maybe chocolate cake will seem disgusting to them all by itself from now on. So that's that aversion therapy and that Pavlovian pairing is very helpful, Keith. So yes, we absolutely do use that technique whenever possible. So the way I do it for smoking in my recordings is I want to equate it to whatever they don't like, so I just tell them to think of what they don't like. I don't know what it is, but I tell them to think of what they don't like, since the recordings are generic and I don't have the option of seeing them. And then I say, okay, whatever that is, that's what smoking is like to you. That's what cigarettes are like to you. You put a cigarette in your mouth, it's like that. So keep that in mind if you pursue hypnosis. And if there is anyone who I missed out on, I apologize. I've been on 34 minutes. I've got to get back to work. I have the honor of helping people. I have the honor of creating powerful programs that help people. Along those lines, I want to point out a new resource that you might find interesting. For any of you interested in conversational hypnosis, I want you to check out hypnoticlanguageacademy.com. hypnoticlanguageacademy.com. I think you'll find some powerful resources there for conversational hypnosis. Conversational hypnosis is not anything we talked about today, but I did want to mention that resource because I think you'll find it very powerful. Again, hypnoticlanguageacademy.com. All right, I'm going back to work. I have enjoyed taking a break. I've enjoyed answering your questions. If you're watching on Facebook and you haven't already done so, go ahead and subscribe to get notifications of when I'm on next. Sometimes, like today, I'm delayed because my meetings run longer, and so you'll be notified. You don't have to wait around. You'll know when I'm on. And also, if you haven't done so, please go ahead and like this video if you do like it, and share it too, because if you do like it, why not share it? So go ahead and get it out, get the word out there so that people know what we're up to here. What we're up to here is creating community, me sharing with you about hypnosis, and helping you live a better life. I'm Dr. Steve G. Jones, hoping you have an outstanding day.